Good day, gentlemen. This has been a long time in the making, this video. Mainly because, I don't like to buy really overpriced things, but this is a really overpriced thing considering what I'm getting. But this is the holy grail, I think, of ChoroQs. If you look at my channel, look up ChoroQ, you'll find that I like cartooned cars. I think I have over 800 videos now on deformed vehicles. And this is, I think, one of those original ChoroQs from 40 years ago. And I was just looking at through the box here, and I think these are like 1930s Rolls-Royce Phantom 3s. So they have the spare wheel, hubcaps, obviously the Flying Lady, but two giant headlights, a center third light, and then horns usually, or maybe auxiliary lights there, and then lights on the fenders, and then a very squarish boot with the handle there. So that's what I think they were modeling back in the day. This one doesn't have a tire on this side, but it definitely has a tire on this side. So, well, ignore the tire on this one. Okay, but yeah, this side was a tire. And then the rear view here. Yeah, you got that like trunk sticking out and a handle there. Alright. So there are plenty of people selling these things. It's just that they're very expensive because it's a Rolls-Royce. And ChoroQs are expensive to begin with. So let's see how old this thing is. This first, it was made in Japan. That's not very common anymore. And there is no actual date. But I have a suspicion that A13 means this is the 13th casting from the brand. SW. It says Rolls-Royce, but I wonder if this SW has to do with that. There's a Wraith. I wonder if it's a silver Wraith or something. Let me check. Nah, I couldn't really find anything. This thing actually has a patent on it, or maybe it actually patent pending. So they probably never got a patent, just to ward off counterfeiters. So there's a typical screw in the front and some sort of weird. This is not typical. I don't know what's going on with the tab system here. I think the tab is part of the bumper and is grabbing that silver. These tires, amazingly, are still rubbery because these are pullback toys. But this is not the toy you want to be winding up against a wall because I see tons of images with the Flying Lady broken off. So this has been a challenge to find one that's intact. It does have the old school Dunlop engraved or embossed tires, and these are standard ChoroQ wheels. They're not the most popular kind, but a lot of other Choros run those. Okay, so it's just this raw, wavy, silvery plastic where you get these weird swirls in the thing. Generally, metallic plastics aren't very pretty to look at. But this is back decades ago. It does have those light bumps there. The Flying Lady is actually pretty impressive, I guess, for its time. And then, is that an actual R on the... Yeah, there's an actual R on the grill. Kind of like, maybe kind of two R's, maybe. And then, yeah, the grill has nice depth to it. And then, just silver there. And I assume these are just vertically extruded lamps or horns. Okay, so the bumper is just raw black plastic. It's got some bumperettes with some texture there. This side here, we got the, I was just checking these bumps are the same. There's some sort of, oh, that's the weird swirliness of the plastic. This thing is a mystery. I think that might be extra molding flash from the mold, so the mold's a little old. I don't think that's supposed to be there. But, yeah, alright, so it's not. But I do see a lot of images where this is there. I guess you could trim it off. Okay, so yeah, at the back you do have a cut line for the trunk here. A little rectangular window, a little poor molding. This mold must be getting old. And an intact sticker of a 100. What does it say though? Is that text? No, or next just movement? I don't know, shininess symbols? Okay, so that's it. There's not much to it. I mean, the thing was designed a long time ago. It's very basic. But I don't think they ever made another Rolls-Royce ever again. So I think this is the first and last Rolls-Royce ChoroQ has ever done. And this thing is probably 40 years old, so that's why it took so long for me to get it. I finally caved in and overpaid. If I had a time machine, I'd go back and buy 1,000 of these and maybe sell 2 of them today. Alright, so it seems silly to maybe take something so sacred, but I'm gonna swap the wheels out. These are standard ChoroQ wheels, so I'll keep them, but I want my Rolls Royce to look like the photo. The question is, how does this come apart? So the front just comes, let's see if this slides forward or back. Don't want to break it. This possibly might be brittle plastic. I don't think the top is brittle, but I think this black could be. Yeah, that middle thing does something. I gotta come back. Yeah, so there is a little hook on that thing there, and that is hooking that silver bit. So I just ended up kind of lifting it and wiggling it, and eventually it popped loose, but you gotta do it really carefully. So the inside construction literally has a metal lock washer thing, friction washer, and yeah, those glass is smoked. Oh, the grill is actually, yeah, a separate piece. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I guess I can slide out, but no reason to. And it does have a 13 in there. Interesting. Okay, so, oh, these are actually smooth axles. I don't know if I recall ever having a smooth axle on a ChoroQ motor. I should probably do this outside this base. The base is brittle, I don't know. Carefully get that tab out. Alright, so now I gotta find some pliers. Alright, so I had to use some crazy glue. Well, on the front I already did, but the rear I did not, so I gotta put a little dab on there. So these are just my own generic design. I actually looked up photos of a more modern Rolls Royce where it had a hexagonal thing with the 2 R's. You can see 1 R, so I could get in there. So just some bio silver, and the rims are some chrome pen, but I don't really think I can see a difference. So let's figure out if there's a special way to get this on. Oh, I see. There's 2 little tabs there in the black frame that have to go into this groove. I think I've seen other Choros do that, so now we know how that works. So that's why this thing has to pop up over the silver as this groove lands home. The first groove is there, but the second is not. Boy, I don't really want to break those tabs off. Maybe if it's, oh, see, if you're going at an angle like that, then maybe push down. There we go. Be careful though, especially the Flying Lady. So then a little hand screwdriver, because that is a plastic top. I want to back out, find the thread. Alright. Being an old car, it can have gappiness in the tires. I think it definitely looks more like a Rolls Royce, even though they're such basic wheels. It was the 30s though. So it's been quite a while since I've shown the Choro Tower. These are all TinyQ boxes. You can buy them separately. I bought these actually off their direct website. If you buy enough stuff, the shipping's not that bad. And TinyQ is superior to ChoroQ in every way. Just go to the website and you'll see. But I reviewed a bunch of them if you want to search the channel. This is some poster putty here. And then I have some sandpaper or some hobby tape to represent the yellow line. And this is just going to squeeze down onto that sandpaper. It's such a big amount of putty. I gotta be careful not to squish that Flying Lady though. That could be too much putty. If you kind of twist and wiggle it down, it's going to deform slowly. I'm actually on the yellow line, but I don't care. Yeah, I guess that's going to do. It's a little tight to get these things in there, but with enough wiggling, you'll get it straight. So you might be curious what else is in here. Resin works. Sorry, this camera mount is not the greatest. I got doors opening here. Alright, hold on here. Okay, resin works. I made that. I did a video on that. I think this is Timothy and Pierre, or possibly Crafts Tech. What does it say? It doesn't say the brand, but the thing was all broken. I fixed it. This I designed myself, and it took a long time. There's a video on that. This is another fine work model kit I made. This as well, this Alpha. This is a ChoroQ Zero of the Lancia Stratos. ChoroQ Zero of the 300 SL. Down here we have a Nissan Caravan with some 3D printed wheels. That's a ChoroQ Zero, number 3. That's a Zero also with some 3D printed wheels, a Silhouette Racer. There's a 300 SL convertible, and I designed this Thomas, I think it was a Thomas school bus. It's actually the width of a 1/64 scale school bus, but shrunken down in length quite a bit. So I still have to get 1, 2, 3, 4 Super Churros. So I don't know, ChoroQ of recent really hasn't put out a new mold that I want. I mean, they've been putting out Ferraris and Lambos, can't complain about that. But of the very recent, it's like an AutoZam. I think I reviewed that and stuff. I have a whole lot of Churro videos if you want to look it up. I hope they go back and do a Rolls Royce again. Or what about a Bentley? A Bentley would be nice, even if it's a modern Bentley. But an old school one would be just as cool. It's just so many old cars, that could be cool. Or maybe an old Mercedes, like World War II kind of Mercedes, or maybe an old Jaguar, a D-type or C-type. Anyways, I finally got, I guess, my most desirable ChoroQ. And it's nice that we're in a time where it's not just ChoroQ. There's plenty of other brands just in this tower. And then you have the resin models that are actually already finished if you don't want to make a model, which is actually what I prefer. There's just a lot of choices nowadays to collect cute cars, which is such a niche in itself. So it's a great time to be collecting miniature cars, whether they're realistic or deformed. I actually prefer the deformed ones. I don't expect as much when the car doesn't exist in the real world. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.